Hello, everyone. This is Aaron, and I am here to talk to you about 7 games that I want to play. These are upcoming games that I think are going to be very interesting. At least they better be. And I wanted to kind of look at the trailers with you guys today and just see what we have got. So the very first one up is going to be Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, I've already watched the trailer, and I do have to say one thing. It's cute. It's definitely a cute trailer, but it doesn't show us anything. Like, it's this dude walking around, and like he's obviously getting freaked out because there's weird stuff happening while he patrols the halls of Game Freak. And it's definitely cute, but it doesn't tell us anything, which is a downside. But all that aside, I am actually looking forward to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The main reason why is that, so I've been playing Pokemon games since the inception of the entire concept. I started playing with Pokemon Red, and I've played nearly every generation since. I love Pokemon, but, big but, is that the traditional Pokemon formula, I'm kind of burnt out on it, to be perfectly real with you. I tried playing Pokemon Sword, and I couldn't get into it as much as I liked. I tried playing before that. It was Moon, and it's the same thing. Although Moon was, I had a little bit more fun with Moon because it wasn't quite the same, but it was still very much a Pokemon game. This, on the other hand, is supposed to be a little bit more open world, similar to Pokemon Arceus, which is amazing. That is what I'm excited about. A mainline Pokemon game that is more open world. That is something that I've been wanting ever since I was a kid. So I am super looking forward to that concept. That's what we want to see. Don't really know a whole bunch about the game yet, obviously. They've shown us a couple Pokemon and some of the visuals. It looks like it's going to look cool and cute like all the Pokemon games. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see exactly what we're going to be getting in terms of new Pokemon, maybe more interesting evolutions, things of that nature. But so long as it's open world, that's going to be the selling point for me. That's going to be the big selling point for me, because I want something outside of the normal formula. Because as it stands now, I'll go down for this one. I don't care. I'll die on this hill. Pokemon Coliseum on the GameCube was the best Pokemon game I think I've ever played, because it was different and unique. Now this here is a big thing. We've got our starters. And I don't know about you guys, but me personally, the way I pick which version of a game I'm going to play when it comes to Pokemon is, one, I look at my starters, and then I look at the edition exclusives. So I'll have to look at an exclusion list of whatever Scarlet's going to have versus whatever Violet's going to have, and I'll see how many Pokemon I'm like, oh man, that dude, I like him. I think I'd like to have him. And whichever version has more of those, that's what I'll go with. As for these starters, though, there's a trend with Pokemon. They've been doing it for a while. You have a Pokemon that is absolute garbage. Then you have 2 Pokemon that you're like, ooh, I think they could be cool. And their evolutions will either make them cool or it will make them awful. And so what ends up happening is they whittle it down to only one proper choice. So this duck, hate it. Hate him. I'm not picking the water type. Unless his final evolution is the coolest thing ever, he is out. So we are left with a grass type kitty and a fire type crocodile dinosaur looking dude. I'm really worried about the kitty's evolution. But until we know more, I'm telling you right now, going with him. That's going to be my starter right there. So yeah, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it's a Pokemon game. You can't go wrong. So definitely looking forward to that. Moving right along, however, next game I want to talk to you about is God of War Ragnarok. Now this is something I'm really excited about. I was kind of late to the God of War whole movement. I didn't play the games when they originally released. I played them much later. enjoyed the first 3 games. They were fun. Story was cool enough. You had Angry Boy killing everything. Definitely cool. Gameplay was okay. And then God of War came out. And it was fantastic. It was easily one of the best games I think I've ever played. I loved it. I'm not super big on like over-the-shoulder third person, but when it's done right, it's amazing. And it was done right with God of War. So with God of War Ragnarok, continuing that story, we get to see how Kratos is going to be interacting with the rest of the North Pantheon, how the event of Ragnarok is going to tie in. It's going to be incredible. I think it's going to be incredible. One thing, though, that I am definitely worried about is that Kratos is going to get killed off. I have no proof that that's going to happen, but I kind of have this gut feeling that they're going to move away from Kratos. His story is going to end, and we're going to move on with his son Atreus. I don't really want that, but if they do a good enough job, it'll be pretty cool. But man, I mean, just look at this gameplay. This is incredible looking, and it's going to be super fun to play. There's going to be moments that are just completely heart-wrenchingly emotional. It's going to be fantastic. I just know it. This is the kind of game to where I will buy a console for it, honestly. Games like this. So I'm going to get a PlayStation 5. I knew I was going to anyways, but one big reason I'm going to get it is just so I can play a game like this, because it's going to be so fun and it's going to be amazing. And look, here's Thor. Thor's going to be a pain in the butt to fight, but boy, is it going to be nice to watch Kratos beat the snot out of him. It's going to be great. All right, moving right along. We're not going to watch the whole trailer. We're just going to talk about this. Next up is, honestly, this is the weakest game on my list, I think. And I say that only because I am very heavily tempering my expectations. So this is Starfield. This is being made by Bethesda. And it is being touted as a Skyrim of space. And that sounds really interesting. Now, my issue is that Skyrim was my least favorite Elder Scrolls game. I really didn't like Skyrim anywhere near as much as I did Oblivion. I liked Oblivion more than I did Morrowind just because of the gameplay. However, I felt like the story and the world was more interesting in Morrowind. So the Elder Scrolls games have gotten weaker with each generation for me. Now this, on the other hand, this right here is, like I said, it's supposed to be Skyrim in space. And that's going to go one of two ways. One, the good way, is that it's going to be this massive open world, open galaxy game of exploration, doing quests, unique creatures, and missions, where you get to just go and go and go and explore and check things out, and there'll be an epic story to it. I mean, it could be incredible. Now, the other way it could go, and I may catch some hate for this, and I'm okay with that, is this may go the way of No Man's Sky. Now, No Man's Sky, I kind of think is an okay-ish game in a lot of ways, and I only say that because the updates they've put into it have really helped it. And other than that, if you approach it with a certain mindset, it's a fun game. And that mindset is basically that it is Minecraft in space. So this might be Minecraft in space. I don't think that'll be a case. I think with Bethesda, what's probably going to happen is it would be more of a like empty in space, because it'll be hollow feeling is the bad thing that could happen with Bethesda, because they have a tendency sometimes of just being hollow. Fallout 4 is a great example. Trash game. And yeah, I said it. It's a trash game. So we're going to move on past this one because it's not as interesting as it could be. Now this, I had not heard about this game until relatively recently, and as soon as I heard about it, I got hyped. So this is another PlayStation 5 game, and this is going to be another thing that's going to make me want a PlayStation 5. But Forspoken is this interesting sounding game about a person from Earth, like basically our world, who is super down on her luck and just has a miserable life at the moment. And somehow she gets pulled into this, a crazy fantasy world. And that, I love those kind of stories. That kind of stuff just gets me. I don't know why. Maybe I'm basic. I don't know. But I love the concept. And so the story is already sounding interesting. You've got a regular person pulled into crazy events. Now, this trailer hints very heavily at the idea that she is going to be the one who could save the world. I saw another trailer that hinted very heavily at the idea that maybe her coming to this world is the reason why the world is having so much trouble. So regardless of which way it goes, that sounds like it'll be such a fun story to experience. Now, the thing that's really getting me in this trailer that I am very interested about is the gameplay. So I feel like this is going to be a have you ever wanted to be Doctor Strange kind of thing, because she has some kind of crazy magic power. But like, I mean, look at this. The movement in this game, it looks like everything that games like Assassin's Creed wish it were. But the thing that this is kind of giving me vibes of is kind of like I said, like Assassin's Creed, but also Prototype. Did anyone play Prototype? That was an amazing game. It was so fun. You had high mobility, just running around wrecking crap. Only this has an even better sounding story. So, I mean, come on. How could you not be hyped for this? I mean, look at the graphics in this. I'm not usually a graphics person. Like, that isn't a break for me. Like, I'm not going to diss a game and not play it because it looks bad. But this looks amazing. And with those kind of like spells and mobility, it looks like it's going to be so fun to be zipping around doing all kinds of stuff. So I am super excited about this one as well. This one here is like, I don't have these ordered in any way, but this one here is kind of ordered like high up on my list for me. Definitely excited about it. Next up, now this game, I'm going to be honest, I don't have high hopes for this game. I don't think this is going to be an amazing game. I'll be 100% with you. I feel like this is going to be a mediocre game at best. It's a real-time strategy game, which those always go one of two ways. The only reason I'm excited about this game is because it's Starship Troopers. I originally saw the first movie of Starship Troopers long ago and became a fan of it. From there, I watched the other movies as they came out. I watched the animated series that came out. I read the book as well. The book is completely different than the movies. But I just love the ridiculous nonsense that is Starship Troopers. So I don't care if this game is mid. It's Starship Troopers, and I have to play it. Like, that's just all there is to it. It's freaking giant bug aliens, and we're trying to fight them and kill them. I have to. It's just going to be too good. It's going to be too good. So next up, we have Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song. Now, Vampire the Masquerade, something that some people know about me is that I have been playing tabletop role-playing games, things like Dungeons and Dragons, Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse. I mean, you name it. I've played tons and tons of them. Warhammer. I could go on and on. But I've been playing tabletop RPGs like that, pen and paper RPGs, for years. Pure serendipity got me Vampire the Masquerade at one point, and I fell in love with the World of Darkness. Not only with the system they used, the storyteller system, but also the world they developed for these games. I just love it. It is one of my absolute favorite pen and paper games. And they've made a ton of video games based on those worlds. Not all of them have been amazing, unfortunately. This one here, however, I don't know why, but just off of this trailer, it looks like it's being shaped up to be a like detective game. It's not open world necessarily. The whole point is you're trying to figure out what the heck's going on, and you have to be subtle and sneaky about it. You can be kind of brave with it, but you got to remember the rules of the vampires and follow them. This feels like it's going to be a campaign I would have played, and that is getting me super into it. I really want to play it, and one thing that I'm super happy about is this game here is the closest to coming out. This one here comes out on the 19th of May, so like a week from time of me recording this. So I'm like really excited about that. I'm going to have to get it and play it immediately. But it just seems like it's going to be so true to Vampire the Masquerade in terms of what campaigns could be. And that's what's really getting me. There is another Vampire the Masquerade game being released pretty soon as well. That one's more of a battle royale. I'm not interested in that whatsoever. I would love to be interested in it, but I'm simply not. I don't do battle royales too much. But this one out of all the games that are on here, this one might be number one just because of how hopeful I am for it. Because I want this to be good. I really want this to be as good as I feel like it can be. So we're going to have to see. I can't wait for this one. And so now we're going to move on to the last one. The last one, I got a fair amount to talk about. So some people know this about me. I'm not particularly proud of it, but Ark Survival Evolved. I got into that game, and I started playing it, and playing it, and playing it, and playing it, and playing it. And I played close to 1,000 hours probably on a Windows Store copy of the game, because I was originally playing with a buddy of mine who was playing on his Xbox, and that way we could cross-play. Well, I bought the game again on Steam, and I've bought the Ultimate Edition of it, whatever you want to call it, where you get all the DLC, all access to everything that ever would come out, which was like $100. So I've put in $200 into this stupid game because I bought it twice. On Steam, I've got a lot of hours too, and if you add everything up, I'm right around like 3,500 hours of gameplay into Ark. I freaking love Ark. I'm addicted to that game. And so when they announced Ark 2, obviously the excitement got real. Now, this trailer really shows off more about Vin Diesel and the fact that there are going to be actual enemies in it. So like in Ark, there weren't any enemies. It was you, other players, and dinosaurs. But we got these like orc-looking dudes that we're going to have to worry about. And I don't know. So, God, I just, like, Ark is so fun to play, but it is kind of a pain in the butt in certain ways, just because it's a little smidgen older now. With this running on a new engine, all new models, it's going to be really good. Now, one thing I am worried about, so Ark 2 is supposed to be a primitive survival game. So in, like, the first Ark, you could eventually work your way up. So when you first get in, you have like rock. You use a slingshot, and that's like your best thing. And as you progress, you work your way up from like Stone Age to like Middle Ages to what we would consider modern, and then into sci-fi, right? Tech is what they call it. And so you have all these levels of levels of survival and ways of playing. Ark 2, from all that I know, all that we've been told so far, is going to be a primitive survival game. Now, Vin Diesel here, we've seen him fighting with a metal axe, so we know that they can use metal to make tools and stuff. But we don't really know, like, if there's going to be guns or if there's going to be tech or anything along those lines. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that yet, because I'm a sci-fi geek. I love sci-fi nonsense. So, she's freaking sticking her tongue out, that work guy. So stupid. But I don't know. I'm really wanting to get addicted to this as well, because Ark has just been something that was perfect for me. And in terms of like what you can do for hunting resources, catching dinosaurs, the breeding. The breeding is my big thing. So I really like building in these kind of games, but the breeding of the dinosaurs was like my bread and butter. I freaking loved that. If we can do breeding in this game as well, I'm already gonna be sold, because that's like the main thing I love doing in these games, is just trying to create ultimate mutant dinosaurs. So yeah, I'm hoping that they don't put too much money into Vin Diesel, because it's cool that he's in it and mocapped it, from my understanding, voice acted it, and he's playing one of the major characters from the lore. All that's cool, but I don't want them wasting all their money on Vin Diesel. Put it into the game, the actual game, make it cool. Because if I buy Arc 2 and the map that I play on looks like this kind of crazy Avatar nonsense going on, I am going to be ecstatic. It's going to be so interesting. And this one has so much potential, because in the original Arc, you are in exactly that. You are in an arc, like these space bases that are the last vestiges of humanity. And it's all computer ran, and it's simulated, and it's just trying to preserve what's left of humanity until they can find a new world, an Ark. This game, Ark 2, takes place after that. So this right here is supposed to be the new world that humanity has gotten to. And this is where we're going to try and rebuild our entire species and civilization. At least that's what we're told so far. And so, I mean, it has so much good potential. And I am ready to put 4,000 plus hours into this game as well. So definitely going to have to do that. But anyways, guys, that right there is 7 games that are coming out that I'm really looking forward to. Most of these are supposed to be out this year, 2022. Starfield got pushed back to 2023, unfortunately, but whatever, it's Bethesda. But yeah, these are some games I'm really looking forward to, and I really want to play. And I would like to know, what are you looking forward to? Are there any games that you are just salivating for? You know what I mean? Where you're just itching it. You got that itch, that fever for it, that you need to play it. If you got any games like that, drop it in a comment, or even better yet, head over to our Discord, to Donarum's Discord, and let me know. Start talking to us there. There's a whole bunch of us in there, and we all have vastly different opinions on what games are going to be good and what games we want to play. And because of that, it's guaranteed you're going to find someone who's going to agree with you. And you also get to yell at me if I'm wrong on any of this. So, yeah. Thanks again, guys, though, for watching. And I will catch you later in our video.